Hey guys, I'm Tyler. Thank you for tuning back in once again. This is a news video. We don't get many opportunities to really bring out some big news in the bass world, but I do like to do these when I get the opportunity and just give you my thoughts and then hopefully get your thoughts back. So anything you're thinking on this topic, do leave it in the comments below during the video. So the news I've got for you today is that Fender have announced, though not publicly made an official announcement, but have discussed through their dealer network that they're going to be stopping the production of ash-bodied guitars and basses. They are going to still offer ash in certain models, certain vintage correct models, and in the custom shop, but in general the production of ash guitars and basses is going to stop. I'm just going to read you the statements and then talk about a little bit what I think that means, and let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below too. So this is the statement from Fender. This was first reported by gearnews.com, and it's primarily an environmental move as well as a scarcity issue. So ash is primarily swamp ash is used for guitars, and that is harvested on the edge of the river, the Mississippi River, sorry, and the Mississippi has been flooded in the last year or so, which meant that the last harvest of ash was really poor. If you go and check out Music Man's site, in their news section, they also mention how they've struggled to harvest enough ash, and so have been moving to other woods, but they were right down to their last kind of couple of planks of ash in their last batch they had in. So the ash hasn't been able to be harvested due to the flooding. So the flooding of the river has meant that there hasn't been a low tide point. So they haven't been able to get in to harvest the wood, and basically it's just been permanently covered by the flooding and the water, so they can't harvest it due to the lower levels. And the other issue is that there's a insect called the emerald ash borer, which destroys the trees, which makes it impossible to harvest, and the ash just isn't of good enough quality. They've been trying for years to get rid of this insect, but they haven't been able to do so. So this is the statement. In order to uphold our legacy of consistency and high quality, we, at Fender, have made the decision to remove ash from the majority of our regular production models. What little ash we were able to secure will continue to be made available in select historically appropriate vintage models, as supplies are available. This marks the beginning of a new chapter at Fender that we hope will inspire musicians with beautiful new tone wood combinations, new resonant body styles, and bold new sounds. As always, our continued commitment to quality and value. With your help, we believe we will continue to achieve unprecedented success together. Something else that Fender also mentions in this is that the custom shop will continue to be built with ash on those models that it's appropriate, and that they will debut new construction methods and techniques to make the most of their remaining ash stock, plus experiment with new and historical woods. I will leave a link to the article in the description so you can check it out for yourself. But I'm just going to talk a bit about what I think that means and how that's going to manifest itself in the Fender lineup. So as you can see there, they're not going to have much of this available. So that either means that Fender's going to have to just make primarily alder-bodied basses, which is possible. We've seen that. Alder's a classic combination with rosewood, and we've seen it also in things like the Player Precision bass, the classic 50s Precision bass that I've reviewed on my channel. That's a maple neck and an alder body. I think the maple neck alder body combination is actually really good. I think you get a good combination of treble snap and great balance in the low end between the two fingerboard woods and neck wood. I think that's a really nice combination. But I do think, from the sounds of it, Fender are also going to consider using other woods. Looking at other woods that could be used, I think maybe looking at something like the Squire range is a good place to start to find hints at what might be used instead. So here I've got the Squire Jaguar Classic Vibe bass, and this has got a NATO body. NATO is kind of renowned as a mahogany replacement, but I think that the upper mid-range content, there's quite a lot of kind of 1K mid-range content in the NATO body, which I think would make a good replacement for ash. The thing that it doesn't have, that ash does have, is a really big low end, and also the aesthetic. So this is my Swamp Ash Sandberg bass. With this bass you get a ton of low end, really great fat low end, and quite a lot of articulation in the upper mid range, but also a decent scoop in the lower mid range, and it really attacks kind of straight away through that upper mid punch around the 1K mark. And as you can see, it's a beautiful wood. Ash really lends itself to being pretty much left as is. So just having the this doesn't even have a finish on it really. It's just a satin style finish. But a lot of the Fender offerings of Ash have a gloss finish, but it does lend itself to a really nice looking guitar. Well, you have that really nice look. I think with something like NATO, you're not going to get that. Other body woods we could see used, and I don't think these woods are inappropriate to use because I've seen a lot of bigger manufacturers use them. Basswood is popular in the Music Man range, the Music Man Bongo uses that, and I've had a couple of those. And also on the Squier Classic Vibe 60s bass, they use a basswood body, I'm pretty sure. But I feel like basswood is primarily an alternative to alder rather than a good ash replacement. And then the other body wood is poplar. Poplar, again, I think is kind of more alder-like, but I think in the low end it's a little bit beefier. So in that way it might replace ash. But again, both basswood and poplar are not great looking woods. I think one of the things that was interesting about Fender's discussion is that they've mentioned new construction methods and techniques. And I think that might play quite a significant part in what they're going to do. I think in general, when Fender says they're going to try a new technique, it's not going to be something that we've never seen before, it's out of this world. I think it'll be something that we've seen but is new for them. They've built consistently just ash-bodied Telecasters, basses, you know, everything just an ash body for years since their inception. And then the same with Audio. You don't often see anything else done with a Fender. And I think we might start to see things like tops used on Fenders, so maybe a maple cap with an alder body to bring back a little bit of that brightness and snap that you get from ash, or maybe poplar with a maple cap. These are all kind of techniques that we've seen people like Michael Tobias use over the years, and poplar is one of their preferred woods, and I've watched videos where Michael Tobias has said that poplar is actually a great, really punchy wood, and was one of the woods used on the black Stingrays back in the early 70s. Sorry, the late 70s. So it's not like it's a body wood that hasn't been used on a Fender product before, you know, a Leo Fender design. So that's definitely an option as well. I think we might also see things like an ash veneer used. So we're going to have body wood sandwiched. So you'll have the ash on the top, another body wood sandwiched between probably poplar or basswood or something like that, and then another ash veneer placed on the back of the instrument, so that you get this same look. The only thing you're not really going to get is quite the grain that you get. As you look down the side there, you can see you're just not going to get that kind of same grain as you sculpt the body away. But for many, that might be able to satisfy the need for an ash look and style. For my personal taste, I'm not too upset about this news. I think it's sad in general for the history of Fender and the instrument, and a little bit worrying in terms of pricing. I think we're going to see a price increase for the use of ash, and you know, primarily ash and alder were the body woods that were readily available. But I know that with most custom orders now, from most builders, including ash is an upcharge, whereas alder is the only wood that's kind of at a standard rate, a generally accepted, you know, that's the base model that you get. Ash is a premium upgrade. So I think that's sad, and it's not good from that perspective. But I do think there are alternatives to it. As I've said, I've just listed you two there with the NATO option, or maybe even mahogany, or even combining different woods together, as I say, with the tops and the caps, and then another body wood is another option. So it's kind of exciting in that way. We'll see some different things and some fresh things, but it is sad for the history of the company. For my own taste, I'm not too worried. I'm an alder fan anyway, and other body woods in general, I just don't really gel with ash. That Sandberg is my only ash instrument. I don't quite like the way it attacks, and I like more of that low mid-range punch and bloom that you get from an alder body, or another. Quite a lot of woods have that more mid-rangey bloom, whereas the ash definitely has a scoop in that area that I kind of like to hear a bit more. So it's not really upsetting for me, but I do think there are combinations, like I say, alder maple, which will get you closer to that classic ash sound, being the ash and the maple neck. Overall, I don't think the bodywood is as important as the fingerboard wood or the neck wood, or the pickups or any of the other stuff, but it is definitely a feel thing for me. I can really feel it. And also, if you get a lovely lightweight piece of ash, you get a really, really resonant instrument. So I think that is a bit of a loss, as I don't really find that much resonance in the same way. I think a really light piece of ash can really resonate more than a light piece of alder can. But in general, for me, alder resonates more than ash, because, as I say, ash really varies. It's grown next to the Mississippi River, so the amount of water you have retained in each piece and where it was growing on the tree really varies. So you can get some quite heavy pieces of swamp ash. In general, it's a little bit lighter, but you can find heavy pieces, and you know, it really varies. I really want to get your guys' thoughts on this, so what I'm going to do is leave a poll on this. I want you to say if you prefer ash as a bodywood or if you prefer a different type of bodywood. And the link to that is going to be above, so just click the little icon and register your vote on there. So I want to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Let me know what your experiences are of different tone woods and what you think is the most similar tone wood to ash. And I also want you to let me know in the comments what you think of the future of guitar building. What's the future without ash in the Fender lineup going to look like? I can't help but feel like many more manufacturers are going to also do the same, and probably withdraw ash as a regular component of their making guitars, because the price is just going to go up. You know, you have boutique builders and people like that trying to compete for a very small amount of wood, and if that's just not there, it's not sustainable for a cheaper guitar to use ash as a bodywood. So that's pretty much it for this video. Thank you for watching. If this video has been helpful to you, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to hit that notification bell as well to keep up to date with the latest of my content. I'm going to leave my Instagram tag just below, and you can follow me there to keep up to date with what I'm up to and all the gear stuff I do. It's just my kind of constant stream in between videos, so check that out. And thank you so much for watching. I will see you around soon, and I'll see you on Tuesday for my next gear review. So keep tuned in, and I'll see you then.